Just my 2-year-old getting papped at the Greta Thunberg rally right now. His sign says, less of a baby than Boris. I bet he's a genius. The hell you taking your 2-year-olds to rallies for? My 4-year-old is still awake. I'm sitting here in a zone, feeling pretty down. She has no idea what's going on, but she just brought my Bernie rally sign to me and said, feel the burn. Sure she did, Susie. I'm guessing that's your name. Sure she did. We went to the planetarium today, and when the voiceover said, this is the Earth, one of the kids booed. What? I mean, don't get me wrong, I totally agree with the sentiment, but why in the world would that ever happen? My 11-year-old just nearly had a heart attack when he saw the exit polls in Iowa saying healthcare was the #1 issue. Not climate change, he moans. It's like the house is on fire and all people care about is doing renovations. Sure, Chris, he totally said that. Your 11-year-old's definitely not talking about seeing Sonic. He's totally talking about climate change. My 4-year-old son asked why I was crying, and I told him I was sad about the death of our democracy. He looked up at me with his young, hope-filled eyes and said, this is why mom is cheating on you, you absolute goddamn loser. That's right, Robbie, come on. Grow up. My favorite part of my husband working from home is that our 6-year-old critiques all of his conference calls. I think you should say, don't get me wrong, instead of let me be clear next time, Daddy. It just sounds better. Joe exclaims, Christopher Columbus in Little Women. My 11-year-old not whispers in the theater, he was a murderer. Your 11-year-old not whispered? Do you mean yelled? So proud of my youngest. She was in line for lunch at school today. It was French toast sticks and sausage. The boy in front of her said no to the sausage and she called him a communist. She's in kindergarten. Hashtag proud parent. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. I just don't like bacon. Die, communist scum. Tickled my 5-year-old to the point she couldn't talk from cackling so much. From just out of sight, a blur flies by as my 2-year-old tackles me at full speed, pulling me off her sister. Stop, mama, you gotta stop. She can't say no. Sisters stick together and consent matters. One of my 6-year-olds started crying today, and when I asked why, she said, I don't want to grow up because I can't bake. I can only make cereal and furniture is expensive. Literally me. Stop lying on your kids, LOL. I hate when I see posts like, Junior saw me crying and said, fret not, mother, for we shall prevail in these trying times. Word? Yo dumbass son ain't say that. Thank you. God. My child just said, frickin' fascists, and he's 2. So some failures and some victories over here. When my daughter was 3, she told my dad, you need to be a Democrat like the rest of the family. He said, what's a Democrat? She said, no guns. You can go to the doctor when you're sick and no Donald Trump. Never been more proud. I asked my son what he wanted to be for Halloween, and he said, Dad, I don't want to be Spider-Man. I want to be Nipsey Hussle and celebrate his life instead of mine. Couldn't believe that came out of his mouth. He didn't say this. When you realize that your kid will make a difference in the world, not by trying to lift up a statue that's secured to the ground. Son number 2, Daddy, what's the difference between white eggs and brown eggs? Me, no difference really. They're the same on the inside. Oh, just like people. Look, I can tell you right now, I'm very different to most people on the inside because my insides are full of snips and snails and puppy dog tails. My son told my husband today he's going to work out, meditate, and eat healthy so he can control his emotions. LOL. He's 40. My 3-year-old son just said, Mommy, why don't people just stay inside instead of going out and possibly infecting others? She's only 5. My son just unwrapped this for Christmas Eve and said, wait, why is there only one girl in this whole set? BRB wiping a feminist tear. Your son unwrapped it for Christmas Eve? 9-year-old, the universe created people. People created God. We are made of stardust, and when we die, we're dust again that will create more universes, and it just goes on forever. Me, is that a question? God, it's really early for such a big question. No, I think I got it. My president thinks that I'm strong and can change the world. The president-elect thinks I am sexy and I can be grabbed. Not my president. Oh, some parents are so awful and gross. Actually, if the current state of the millennials and Gen Z is of any indication, I think most parents are awful. Told my 3-year-old we needed to pick up dinner for her dad, and she said, "Daddy's a grown man, he can cook his own food. My work here is done." Wow, screw doing nice things for dad, I guess. My youngest hacked our Netflix parental code. She put light grease on the remote and got me to input the code when she wasn't looking. Then, she noted the numbers I'd pressed and went through the combinations later. I'm both frightened and impressed. That's not hacking, that's just surveillance. Hacking would have been installing software or grabbing the code from the TV, computer, or whatever device uses Netflix. Thank you, Tyler. Wanna see Jumanji? Yes. But I want to help the homeless. Well, let's come up with a plan, baby girl. What do you have in mind? Wow, my kid just stopped me in my tracks. Wow. My daughter, who is 8 years old, when she heard that the vice president had picked Kamala Harris, her eyes got big, Chris, and said, "My goodness, she's South Asian and Jamaican. That means anything is possible for a woman." And this is my daughter, who is 8 years old. Yeah, you already told us that part. Kindergartners for Trump. Oh look, even more terrible parents. Yikes. Just another Sunday, he insisted on wearing his new flag pin just like the president, and his new MAGA hat. He is the future of this country, and I'll be damned if I'm gonna stop him from showing his support for his favorite modern president. My 2-month-old, "I can't sleep, Daddy. I'm afraid of Frankenstein." Me, "Haha, don't you mean Frankenstein's monster?" My 3-month-old, "I do not. Personally, I find unethical and irresponsible scientific practice far more terrifying than any physical being, and so should you." Warning, as my daughter laughed at Trump's speech, she turns and asks, "How is this idiot president?" So began our lessons on demagoguery, populism, nationalism, etc. A week later, I get a call from daycare saying she started a protest over inadequate napping areas. She's 3. Are your lives really this boring? Really? I can't imagine having such a sad life that I have to use my children for clicks. Cringeworthy bastards, you're fully grown adults with children. Exploding unicorn, okay. Me, "Who ate all the cookies?" 5-year-old, "Ninjas. I didn't see them. No one ever does." Checkmate. So far, I think that's the only believable one. This morning, I told the 10-year-old about a media thing I'm doing with some other founders. Her first 2 questions: how many are women? How many are people of color? This kid gives me hope for the next generation every single day. Yeah, I bet. Watching election coverage. 6-year-old son, "Who are they?" "Those people are who want to be president." "So what does the president do?" "Well, first of all, never mind, can I have fruit snacks?" And this is how a real conversation about politics with a child goes. My son just said to me, if everyone ate 5 bites less of food each day, we could feed so many hungry people. He's only 4, but already realizes how much food is wasted in the world. Well, my 4-year-old just dumped an entire bottle of ketchup on his steak. He might not be as woke as your kid, but guess who's more likely to be president? I was eating breakfast with my 10-year-old granddaughter, and I asked her, "What day is tomorrow?" Without skipping a beat, she said, "It's President's Day." She's smart, so I asked her, "What does President's Day mean?" I was waiting for something about Obama, Bush, or Clinton, etc. She replied, "President's Day is when the president steps out of the White House, and if he sees his shadow, we have another year of bullshit. You know, it hurts when coffee spurts out your nose." 3-year-old, "I need you to fix this." Me, "Listen, I got my own problems. You fix it." "Listen, you got my problems and your problems." "Actually, that's very accurate. Give me your toy, I'll fix it." That kid is right! As a parent, how do you tell your child Black Panther died? My son asked if it was because of his race. Broke my heart again. I asked my nephew if he wanted the PS5, and he said, "No, my Wii works just fine. Go invest in a stock. I'm raising a king." My 7-year-old is doing a math worksheet, and it's telling him that the eraser, 37 cents, costs more than the pencil, 18 cents, and he is outraged. If you're poor and you can't afford the eraser, you can't correct your mistakes. But if you're rich, you can erase all your mistakes. Well, yeah, but see, erasers don't actually erase very much. You know what I mean? It's not going to erase a murder I committed. There are so many other worlds. Sometimes when you hold special rocks, you can hear them. Rainbow Wolf, age 6. Wait, her name is what? My 2-year-old son just asked me, "Father, if Santa is real, why didn't he dedicate his factory to the war effort and produce ammunitions during the shell crisis of 1915? Unbelievable." My 18-month-old came up to me this morning and asked, "Mom, why are people spending their time in quarantine not learning a new skill, trying to create new sources of revenue, or trying to acquire an LLC?" Let that sink in. Okay. Singing to my 5-year-old, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star. How I wonder what you are. Her. Stop. It's a ball of gas. Science. Stop pretending you don't know what it is. Jesus, kid, I was just singing a goddamn song. 2 weeks ago, I told kids at school to write an essay titled, "If I Were a Millionaire." Everyone was writing except a girl who leaned back with arms folded. "What's the matter?" I asked. "Why aren't you writing?" "I'm waiting for my secretary," she replied. Scored her 10 out of 10. The level of emotional intelligence in my son is insane. He hates sharing popcorn. It's his favorite snack. He just gave me some and said, "I'm working on getting over my anger when I have to share my popcorn. Take some from me so I can get used to sharing." This 9-year-old, man. I told my 10-year-old as her school was canceled that this was so unprecedented, her generation may end up being defined by it. Not 2 minutes later, she excitedly exclaimed, "We don't have to worry about getting shot at school for 3 whole weeks." Sobering AF. I mean, unfortunately, it is a valid point, but your 10-year-old did not say that. My child always yells loudly, "Why are they wearing a mask? Aren't they scared of the corona? Don't they know masks reduce your oxygen and increase your CO2 inhalation and weakens your immune system?" COVID parenting tip. Train your children to loudly ask, "Why isn't that person wearing a mask? Are we going to get sick?" when in public. I was just in Target and heard this 3-year-old say to his dad, "Daddy, I think people who use the word simp are doing so because they're rooted in misogyny. Women deserve to be treated with respect without people calling them simps." Wow, incredible. Everyone clapped after. "Ah, Tommy, you were so close." My 10-year-old is not having it. What increased the need for slaves? Those people did not need slaves. Dang, you did a really good job mimicking that handwriting. Take your mask off because God's got you covered. Wow, he missed a couple million people though. My 18-month-old son built this. I told him good job, and then took half of it. He cried, so I told him, "That's socialism. Don't let them bring it here." He looked me dead in the eye and said, "Not in my America." My 8-year-old daughter came up to me today and said, "Dad, today isn't for you, okay? It doesn't always have to be about you. I'll be a woman one day and it'll be up to us women to fix the damage done by men." I started to cry. She then reminded me male tears weren't helping. Wise. Whoa. My friend's 6-year-old brother made this bracelet. He accidentally put the beads on backwards, but that's okay. It's still super cute. You may thank my 11-year-old. Trumpkin, orange on the outside, hollow on the inside, and should be thrown out in November. I was about to pay my rent and my unborn son handed me this cash and said, "Mommy, it's time for me to start carrying my own weight around here. I got this. I love my son." Vaccines were discovered by Edward Jenner in 1796. It didn't solve anything. Vaccines are toxic. My body, my choice. Me at my kids clowning at the seafood restaurant. If you want to eat adult food, you have to act like an adult, daughter. If we acted like adults, we would be causing global warming. Me. I found my 5-year-old daughter's Elizabeth Warren action figure in her bed when I was making it this morning. When I asked her why, she said, "I was scared and she makes me feel brave." Warren is inspiring a whole generation of little girls to grow up and move mountains. This little girl I'm babysitting just asked me if I have a boyfriend, and I said not anymore. And she said, "Boyfriends are a waste of time." And then she turns to her brother and tells him, "You're gonna be a waste of time." They asked, I just need to say that my 9-year-old daughter is really upset with y'all for not thinking that it's a woman's turn after these last 3 years. Like, she's hot. My 8-year-old daughter is mad, like epic mad. She lived through Hillary and all day long has been, when is it going to be a woman's turn? When are we good enough? Broke the news about Elizabeth Warren to my 6-year-old daughter. She paused for a moment and then said quietly, "It seems like grown-up girls don't get a lot of turns, like to be president or governor or things like that." I'm wrecked. My wife and I never baby talk to our kids. We use full sentences and a wide vocabulary, including complex words. My son is 3 and can carry a full conversation. Adults at family gatherings are shocked at his social aptitude. My daughter isn't even 2, and she uses 4-syllable words. 10-year-old, "They only made Star Wars to make money." 7-year-old, "If nobody did anything to make money, we'd still be cavemen. You wouldn't have your Xbox. We'd just be a bunch of guys throwing spears at deers." My 11-year-old just told me everybody in his middle school talks talks about Andrew Yang a lot. He says all the kids have convinced their parents to vote for Yang. He also says he wishes he could vote too. I told him re-election in 2024, he can vote. Yang Gang! Our soccer ref didn't show up, so one of the moms on our team had her 9-year-old son ref for us. He had a whistle. And a completely adult woman on the other team argued with one of his calls, and he yellow carded her in front of everyone. And she had to sit in her car to calm down. My son is 8 and innocently asked me tonight, is Joe Biden American? Speechless. Yeah, okay, Facebook profile dad. You might want to go a little easier on the Oakleys next time. Today I was playing Animal Crossing, a wholesome sandbox game on Nintendo Switch with my 7-year-old, extremely socially conscious daughter. She went to purchase a new outfit from what is called the Nook Shop. It's not where you buy the outfits. In the game, when she picked up on the gender price differential of goods in the shop, she's unknowingly picking up on a real-world problem referred to as the pink tax, i.e. feminine products, clothing, etc. Confused, she asked me why her brother doesn't have to pay as much for the Mario outfit as she does or did for the Peach outfit. I really didn't have an explanation for this other than maybe because it was more fancy. She wasn't buying it because this was the only Mario Bros themed dress option in the shop, and she was a bit upset at the unfairness. She paused the game, grabbed her pen and paper, and asked me to help her spell. By the second word, I knew what was happening, and my heart was the fullest it's been in a while. She finished up her letter, see below, and asked me to find out who to send it to. She said she hopes they take her very seriously because she hates writing, but really felt that she had to do it. This is for all the other children who felt the same way. Encourage your children to speak up for what they see as a problem. Help them spell, help them find the right contacts. They'll do great things for this world. One small note written by one small person making such big awareness alone is invaluable. She was trying so hard to be a quotable viral sensation there. So I was at the park with my boys the other day, and the little boy, about 6 years old, asks me, "How can he be your son? He is a white human and you are a black human?" Me, not sure how much he knows about where babies come from. Well, sometimes we look more like our moms, and other times we look more like our dads. He just happens to look a lot like his dad. The boy gave me the, "Really? That's what you're going with? Look." So I followed up with, "He was the one God put in my tummy, and doctors gave me at the hospital." Well, that's a weird way to write that. Little boy responded, "Well, that's why you should have your babies at home birth or the birth center next time. They don't get babies mixed up." Me, WTF just happened. Where's this child's parents? Touché, kid. I hate Facebook. Me in class, teacher. "Hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving." Me. "Actually, I don't find it fun to celebrate genocide and colonization, so I spent this Thanksgiving blogging and protesting, but thanks. How was yours?" Begins to clap? Okay. Man, 12-year-olds really do say whatever they want on Tumblr, don't they? Or did. Headline was unfair to pick on pit bulls. To the editor, "I am 11 years old and I love all dogs. In your Pit Bull Bites Jefferson County Sheriff's Arm article, why couldn't you just write Dog Bites Jefferson County Sheriff's Arm? Pit bulls are mistaken for mean fighting dogs. They can actually be a loyal and sweet breed. They're my favorite. If a golden retriever bit a sheriff, you would not point out the breed like you did for the pit bull." That's probably true. "They don't need any more bad publicity. We need to work together to change the way people think about pit bulls, so we can save them instead of making people more scared of them. Many pit bulls are euthanized because of people like you." Jeez, you should write an article about the next Chihuahua who bites someone. Okay, Riley Johnson's mom. My son got his report card today and academically he did well, but his teacher wrote a note specifying he needs to use kind words with friends. I asked him about that and he said, "My friends are dumb and they need to know." That one is at least a little believable. My son told my husband today he's going to work out, meditate, and eat healthy so he can control his emotions. He's 4, and you're a liar. It's actually quite funny how desperate parents are to make sure that their demon spawn is a special demon spawn. Yes, mine's a mega genius with supernatural mind powers. Okay, Karen, you're lying. I taught my daughter the truth about flat Earth. And the other day, we were in the toy shop and she spots a globe. globe. First thing she said was, "What is this nonsense? Why does the toy shop preach lies?" Okay, sweetie, sure. Elias, I know why God made us. Me, why? Because he was lonely. Didn't God have all the angels and shit? Was God really lonely? God can do anything. It's not an exaggeration. Just heard my son's history teacher say the Americans were about to try a new experiment to govern themselves, something that had never been done before in human history. My son asked, weren't the Native Americans already governing themselves? I almost spit my coffee out. Sure you did, Chad. Sure you did. My little brother texted me this at 3 a.m. Why do girls your age have Greek life in their bio, but don't understand the geopolitical structure of the Aegean Sea? I hope I pronounced that right. Or the crucial role Greek played in the war against Mussolini and the rest of the Axis. That made no fucking sense. When my daughter was 3, she told my dad, "You need to be a Democrat like the rest of your family." He said, "What's a Democrat?" She said, "No guns. You can go to the doctor when you're sick, and no Donald Trump. Never been more proud." Stephanie, shut the fuck up. 100 days in, and America is getting back on track. Mr. President, me and my 4-year-old daughter were watching your speech tonight, and she began to cry as you are her hero. Oh, come on. How is this any less freaking creepy than when people did it for Trump? Can we knock this shit off? It's gross and nasty, bro. My newborn baby said that you're her hero. My 8-year-old's homework tonight. What fraction of the balls have stars? What fraction of the balls have stripes? All right, half. What fraction of the children are girls and what fraction of the children are boys? Okay, I cannot tell who is a girl and who is not a girl from a picture. Sure, fair, but holy shit, Mom, can you stop writing crap like this on behalf of your children? So proud of my 14-year-old 9th grader. His AP Human Geography teacher asked them to argue pros and cons of gentrification. He called the assignment immoral and refused to agree you can consider it a pro when people benefit from real estate by destroying other people's communities. Tucking the 8-year-old in, he says, "I know today was a good day for justice," which he pronounced justas, "but I know that we have to keep working hard at explaining things to people until everybody gets it." Oh, I just love this so much. You've raised your child right. When my son and Dill told my 5-year-old granddaughter that Joe and Kamala won, she said, "Bye-bye, Trump, time to pack your bags." Kids crack me up. Again, this is just as gross. What the hell? Even school kids know. A person who teaches is a teacher. A machine that computes is a computer. A person not loyal to his country is a Democrat. Wow. That is one of the saddest things I have ever seen. Well, hope you like your football team. Red is a cool color, isn't it? At the beach, a family of kids said they liked our dragon kite. I leaned over and reminded Blank of what I do when people tell me they like something I have. I give it to them. He said, "Yes, I remember." I walked over and gave the family our kite and said, "It's yours." They were ecstatic. "Oh, how nice." As we walked away, I said, "This is just a small thing you can do to be nice and make someone else have a better day. It's important to do this." Parker said, "Yes, and especially for people of color." I'm tearing up just typing this. The family were people of color. He's 6. We're moving in the right direction. Man, you are really good at fan fiction. My son's response to his history book 4 years ago. Answer the questions. What are 3 of the major regions in which Native Americans lived? We still live here. Damn, you got them good though. Let's be real for just 1 second. True. They may have lost the Alamo, but they won Texas, 9-year-old son. My #1 strength according to Clifton Strength Finders is competition. Losing at anything to me feels like the worst loss of all, regardless of what it is. Love this reminder from my son. Sometimes losing leads us to something far greater. You won Texas? That's a win? Yeah, that's right. Come at me, Texans. Let's do this. This guy, when he was 7 or 8, we were having dinner and as always I asked, "How was school?" He said, slightly troubled, that today my teacher asked the class what manifest destiny meant. He raised his hand and got called on, and he said, "Isn't it just an excuse to kill Indians?" I was floored. I asked him, "Did you really say that?" "Yes, Papa." "Papa? Really?" "And what did the teacher say?" "Not really." "And what do you think?" "I think it is." I'm not going to fucking comment. 4-year-old and I were listening to You Are My Sunshine. After the song, she says, I think it would be better if the song were You Are My Moonshine. I ask her why, and she says, because when it's dark, you're more grateful for the light. Is my child speaking in metaphor? Your child never said that, so I don't know what you're talking about, Scribbly McScribbles. Just had a kid on the opposing team of my 13-year-old soccer team call his teammate friend, and our coach's son the N-word on the field. What the hell? I've never seen a group of boys get off a bench so fast to run over and try to beat the crap out of a racist kid before. Got punched. Good. What the hell, man? Today, the first grader I was watching said that she didn't understand why kindergarten got naps because it's the easiest grade. She said that college kids should have naps because they only get like 3 hours of sleep a night. Make her president. While I do agree that giving people 6 hours of homework a night is f***ing disgusting, they never said this. 12-year-old, what are you, a consequentialist or a deontologist? I pause to reflect. Are you saying you're a nihilist? This is my every conversation. With yourself? You talk to yourself and pretend it's your 12-year-old? Back in October, my 17-year-old son broke his arm. When the doctor asked him what color cast he wanted, my son proudly pointed to the hot pink one. The doctor was like, are you sure? Pink is the girl color. My little guy looked at the doc and said, there are no girl colors or boy colors. I want a pink cast because it's breast cancer month. The doc turned red. The nurse gave my son a kiss and I puffed out like a proud mama bird. Okay. He could have asked Santa for anything at all. Anything. He asks for a new helmet, a police uniform, and a Trump hat. I love my kid. All right, let's take a look at this. I want a helmet. Fair. I want a police set. I've asked for that before. Trame hat. That's not even a little bit remotely what you thought it was. Also, no, the child did not write this. You put your pen in your non-dominant hand and pretended to be your 8-year-old or whatever the hell your child is. When I was 4, my dad got pulled over and I screamed, I have to poop. Don't we all? And the cop let my dad go. When he took me to the bathroom, my dad couldn't stop laughing after I told him I didn't need to go. I just didn't want him to get a ticket. Sure hope my kids return the favor. You can be a superhero even if you don't have superpowers, Mom. What my son told me as I was putting him to bed tonight, I think children are way more emotionally intelligent than we think. Oh man, don't say that around Marvel or DC Comics fans. Dude. The amount of times I've been corrected on calling Batman a superhero? Oh, dude, really put me off of liking any of that shit. My kids were listening to Old Town Road by Lil Nas X, and one of them asked, doesn't he worship Satan, Mommy? I said, yes, son. Sadly, he does. I had to turn on No Role Models by J. Cole to cheer him up. My kids idolize someone better now. Thank you, J. Cole. You're a lifesaver. Hey, wait just a minute here. This morning on the way to school, 9-year-old son, Dad, how old is President Biden? Me, 78 or 79. How old is President Trump? 74 or 75. How come Trump can still make sentences? He's learning about sentence structure at school. This whole interaction makes no sense. If he did say this, why would you post it? I don't get it. I just found out that Ryan Reynolds is 44. How he makes sentence? I love my child. Twitter, give me likes. Warning, plot spoiler. My 6-year-old loves the Shrek movies, as they should. Back when she was 5, she genuinely asked why Shrek had signed a contract without a lawyer in the film Shrek Forever After. It's an excellent point and bang on my unexpected theme of contract posts this week. Video proof below. So if in doubt, ring this person. Also for my fellow lawyers, do you not wish this movie existed at uni? It'd have made a great contract law seminar. There's offer, acceptance, exit clauses, questions over its validity. In fact, I'm gonna have to watch this again. So am I. I remember that one sucked. Today, my 11-year-old nephew came home from school crying. Apparently, he said he likes boys and several kids called him okay. I tried to comfort him, saying he was no such thing. And you know what he said? I'm not crying for me, they just called me blank. I'm crying for them because they don't understand love and that's sad. I've never been so freaking proud of anyone in my life. All right, 5-year-old just took half of the 3-year-old's toys and said, these are mine now. This is called late capitalism. Then he gave them back and added some of his own toys and said, "This is socialism." I was utterly speechless, but I was also damn proud. Oh man, these are sometimes slightly painful, folks. My 2-year-old daughter is watching NYL versus SEA from last year. No, I don't know what those mean. Are they superheroes, Daddy? Yes, baby. Yes, they are. All right, let's move on, shall we? Standing in the bathroom this morning, one of my twins walked in and I noticed him staring at the faded stretch marks on my hip. And while tracing one with his finger, he goes, "Those are your birth tattoos, Mommy? And that is what they shall be called forevermore." See, this one's slightly more believable, though not entirely, don't get me wrong. My 8-year-old came across my bound thesis in the basement, read it, and spontaneously wrote me this note. I will now be listing her as a suggested reviewer for all my manuscript submissions. Okay, let's take a look here. Dear Adam, Daddy, I was very amazed by your work. It surprised me that it took you 4 whole weeks to write that thesis. I'm sure it took a lot of hard work. I found out lots of things about genome sequencing. I also liked learning about what you studied and were interested in. A lot of things made me say, awesome. Your younger daughter, Hannah. How old is she? 8 years old? Nah, come on. No. Your daughter misspelled surprised but figured out genome sequence? Okay. My communist son, who just got his 32nd PhD, called me and said, "Father dearest, I require assistance due to my inability to find pleasure in this summer camp. It would be a kind deed if you would stop my daily dose of this camp." And I was speechless. He's only 3 years old. Oh. Shaking right now, my 2-year-old son just said his first words. He said, "Is it true that Donald Trump was the worst president in American history?" And I said, "Yes, son." I couldn't lie to him. It was one of the realest moments of my life. My child just said, "Freaking fascists," and he's 2. So some failures and some victories over here. All right. I got my 7-year-old son these Vans, and he looks at me with disgust. Caden. Wow, that name. Holy crap, you're pretty live, laugh, love, aren't you? "No thanks, Mom. I'm not a Freemason." Me? "Yeah, but they're just shoes and it's a satanic cult, Mom. People might get the wrong idea and think I'm one of them." I don't think anybody on the planet would ever for 1 second see your chessboard-ass fake goth Van shoes and think that you're a Freemason or a Satanist. It's the education system. I'm in 5th grade, and when I get annoyed, I realize I have to do it for 7 more years. 12 years wasted on stuff I don't need. You barely need any education to be a YouTuber. That's true. 7th grader here. I don't think I need to know that their if a question is in present tense. You should put a question. What? Man, that reply, sorry, it doesn't even have anything to do with anything, but what?
My 3rd grader. Write a question you would like to ask an astronaut.
Why do you lie?
Well, kid, it's the same reason your father says he actually loves you. Because the truth hurts. Little man's art teacher. Okay, class, draw anything you want. My little man draws this and makes Uncle Zach proud. It's time for people to wake up to the school's woke indoctrination of our children. I'm already doing that myself, so stop making my child critically think. My friend's toddler babbled,
"Don't forget to subscribe,"
as he was put to bed. Kid watches so much YouTube, he thought it means goodbye. Or, and hear me out, Tom, maybe they were making a joke. You know, the thing you are. EmKay, age 6, said it best.
What is love? By EmKay, age 6. Love is when you're missing some of your teeth, but you're not afraid to smile because you know your friends will still love you even though some of you is missing.
Oh, that's sweet. At least until you realize the thing that's missing is their sanity. From a dinosaur group about the new Jurassic World. Took my 7-year-old to the Jordan Peterson movie. After it was done, I asked her if she thought it was scary. She said,
"Mummy, the dinosaurs weren't scary. The people were."
That hit deeper than it probably should have. Astounding. I never thought to think that a movie based around an evil corporation purely chasing profits and not properly taking care of their animals would be the bad guys. Me. How was your day, 8-year-old?
I just worry they are doing it wrong.
Doing what wrong?
They separate everything so we can't understand anything. Who says music isn't really math or math isn't really science? Someone made categories, but the world is mushier than that.
Ma'am, you are an MD. I assume medical doctor. Please, no. You're more intelligent than to spout this stupidity. Hey, son, I got the perfect Halloween costume for you. It's okay, guys. It's just a parody. It's a parody. The dad is self-aware. It's a parody. Surely it's a parody. This isn't the person we're leaving the earth behind to. No, they're just playing a joke.
I taught my daughter the truth about flat earth, and the other day we were in the toy shop and she spots a globby. First thing she said was, "What is this nonsense? Why does the toy shop preach lies?"
This one right here. This one said that. This little crotch goblin. Is that a hill you want to die on? I work at a swim school and we occasionally have birthday parties. I overhear a conversation one of the kids had with their mom. And a little description, literally repeating what they already said. Oh, but of course we gotta highlight the fact this child is under the age of 12, so therefore they've gotta be a child genius. Mom, looking at news articles on phone about Sam Smith.
Mommy, why is Sam Smith kissing a boy?
Because he's gay, honey.
Mommy, what does gay mean?
Like girls like boys, it's when boys like boys.
Oh, well, why can't girls like girls?
They can, they're called lesson bisons.
Lesions?
How the frick do you mess that up? No, lesser B entities.
Oh, okay.
And now for the entire point of this stupid fanfiction, to gloat how amazing she is as a mother, in the same way a husband gloats for washing their dishes.
Can I be lesbian?
Sure, only if you feel that way. Why?
Because there's this girl named Katie and she's really, really pretty, like prettier than Elsa.
Prettier than Elsa? Disgusting!
Yeah, I want her to be my girlfriend.
Okay, wait. What about that other kid you liked? That boy named Jimmy. Please like him, daughter. I want grandchildren.
I don't like Jimmy anymore. I only said that because I thought I didn't have any more options but boys.
And then they both died, apparently. This is my son's, 6 years old, perspective on my job.
Papa, I sell paper.
Editor.
It's a stupid paper.
My work is done. I'm retiring from parenting. Miss Nine came home from school the other day distressed.
Mom, at school we had a worksheet and we had to describe our superhero and what he does. Why does it have to be a man? I told my teacher my hero was Malala Yousafzai. I ruined that. And Rosa Parks.
I find it interesting that earlier on, the adults were complaining that the schools were too woke, so what is it? Are you ever gonna be happy? I sat with Levi, my 12-year-old, last night and tried to explain to him about the midterms. After a long conversation about the two different parties, he uttered,
"Why can't everybody just stop being babies and get something done?"
From the mouths of babes.
That's not a baby, that is a 12-year-old. They're basically a teenager.
Picked up my sons from school and stopped to get gas.
Invited them to get out of the car and learn how to do it. Afterwards, the 11-year-old says,
"Thanks for the life lesson, but I'll never drive a gas car."
13-year-old says,
"This is like the time you showed us how a payphone works."
You listen here, you little sh**. Someone ought to tell this kid's parent that there is one. My 12-year-old son, who has Asperger's, very high-functioning autism, asked, wait, hang on, are you trying to gloat about how good of the autism your child has? Do you treat your children like a gotcha game?
Hey, why isn't there an International Men's Day?
I don't know what to say. He has a point. Let's just look up a little Google search. Oh, wow, what's that? Oh, look at that. I wonder what that is. Maybe you could spend this energy less complaining about Women's Day and more actually putting effort into Men's Day.
I don't know what answer my kid's history teacher wants, but this is the correct one.
Based on what you have learned about the religion, economy, and physical geography of medieval Europe, why do you think the Muslims were not able to conquer most of that continent?
They were perfectly able to, just Europe was dirt poor, so there was no reason to.
Ah, fellow white person. You can still be considered a good person without having to publicly hate the existence of your own, skin and history. Just told my 10-year-old daughter about Queen Elizabeth. She had tears in her eyes. And then she did the Wakanda pose and said, "Liskanda forever." No, that's not something that your daughter's gonna be proud about to see on the internet. And this is a sort of pop culture crossover that I can celebrate. Oh look, your daughter's trending. Hashtag whitewashing Wakanda. Oh, everyone at her school's gonna love that. Using your children as props. even if it's just for the photo in the moment, I can't help but just feel sorry for them. I mean, they went through all the effort to be excited for Halloween, dressed up as a scarecrow, and they're just left in the background like that. That's so heartless. Yo, what? What? No, okay, this is clearly a parody, but the fact they still did this for the photo? No. My 7-month-old daughter said,
Mommy, you're single. I understand how hard it is to do things on your own sometimes. I love you. Please let me pump for you. It's the least I could do.
Grateful for her, for real. And there she goes, holding the pump. I mean, I'll look forward to seeing her try and take it off when she's done. My daughter actually submitted this feedback at school. Not sure if I should ground her or buy her ice cream. Things my teacher can do better.
Not use collective punishment, as it is not fair on the many people who did nothing, and under the 1949 Geneva Conventions, it is a war crime.
Wow. Your daughter's gonna grow up to become a great political commentator whose entire business platform is based on sensationalism. Amal Clooney reveals her son, 5, drew picture of prison and said,
Putin should be here.
And that's why we must do something, because my child said so.
Kids folding laundry and chatting.
Do you see? Do you see what my children do? I made them do that. They can do that. I'm better children than you.
13-year-old. Why are the pyramids in Egypt? 10-year-old.
Because they are too big for the British to steal.
All 3 cackle loudly. My parenting work is done.
Here's how my non-binary 7-year-old handled this question on their homework. I am so proud of them.
156 children in a school are girls. 148 in that school are boys. How many children go to that school? I could just look at the 2 numbers and only focus on that because that's the entire point of this question. But no, that's too common sense. Instead, let's enforce an entire discussion on gender identity by defacing this one sheet and handing it to my teacher who has no authority in how these questions are outlaid. I fix gender identity for future generations. Raise them right, and boy, do they impress you. Yeah, you raise that child who can't even spell their own name. Wearing a mask shows I am a good
sheep.
Climate change is a dangerous
scam.
Assault rifles are a very
fake
problem. At the local communist meeting, I would bring A. Name tag, B. Notepad, C. Poems, D. Other.
Flamethrower.
Sir, are you from the 1950s? Are you off to report your daily amount of communists today? My 13-year-old son and his group of friends asked me today how soon they can get vasectomies. I am proud of the man I am raising and the company he keeps. At 13, yeah, it's not because they want to be responsible, it's because they don't want responsibility. I totally believe her little kid said this. I remember my daughter's first words were about the socio-political landscape she would have to overcome as a woman. She got in trouble at recess today for karate kicking a boy who was picking on her friend. I asked her what she learned from it, and she said,
I learned today that the school system doesn't want us sticking up for girls. I've been thinking about ways that I can change that.
Lord, the world is not ready for her. Oh, I love that. Proudly implying that your child is going to be the one to fix all sort of issues. As if all the feminists in the last few centuries, they've just been too lazy, you know? Clearly not trying hard enough.
Everybody dies one day. Everyone. Even wolves. But not books. Not words. Words don't die. My son, 3, who is a lot smarter than I am.
Oh, flip off, Rebecca. He did not say that.
My boyfriend got into my car, and 5 minutes later, my younger sister said,
I just think it's funny how you haven't complimented my very beautiful sister who spent time doing her makeup and picking out her outfit yet.
Oh, someone tell her to relax. But still compliment me. Do it. Give me the approval. My wife, trying to cheer up our 7-year-old son. So, what do you want to do first after the pandemic? Him? Revenge. Yes, I'm sure your 7-year-old son absolutely hated the fact they got to chill at home for school.
I'm not even 3 years old, and I'm already protesting for my rights.
I guarantee if you ask that child what her rights are, she's just gonna show her right hand. Though at that age, look, maybe her left hand. But oh, she's trying. A lady in the store tried convincing my daughter to buy a doll because dinosaurs are for boys, so my 5-year-old roared at her. I'm not even embarrassed. Look, I wouldn't be either. That's a good way of intimidation. My 11-year-old just broke my heart today when I asked her if she was scared about what's happening with Roe. She said,
No, because I know you'd never let anything bad happen to me.
I don't know how to tell her that it's not always in my control. I mean, that's just a standard life lesson. You didn't need to wait until your child lost the right to her own body autonomy to tell her that. Tell me this man wants your vote without telling me this man wants your vote. I asked my daughter, Hannah, 11 and a half years, do you like living in Alberta? Hannah's answer. Read the script right, sweetie.
Okay. I like Alberta because of its beautiful maintains. Our neighbors are nice. People are friendly and work hard. We don't pay sales tax. We have a roof over our head. I am proud to be Albertan. Can I go now?
Hashtag ableg. I snapped at my daughter yesterday. Again, you were sneaking out with my phone! She loves Roblox. I shut up the moment I got closer. She was on Google Translate English to Ukulelean. Hi, my name is Mila. Do you want to be friends? A boy from Ukraine just joined her class. Can children rule the world, please? Well, this may shock you, but children do rule the world, specifically the ones that have been around longer. My daughter put this up on the door. Powerful question.
The same spirit that raised Jesus from the dead is in us. What are you going to do with it?
Well, I guess practice some necromancy.
Mom, I have a question about Santa. To get the name brand toys, does he engage in copyright infringement or commit felonies? Since the elves are involved, that's also a conspiracy, right? And that, children, is why I had to assassinate your brother.
Speaking of gay marriage, I have a story for you all. Be with family last weekend. Little 5-year-old cousin playing with My Little Pony toys in the living room. Announces we are all invited to the wedding. My aunt asks who's getting married. The yellow one with the pink hair and the butterfly mark, as well as the orange one with the blonde hair and the apple mark. How do I know that so accurately? Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Aunt says,
They can't get married
cousin is distraught. Why not?
because girls can't marry other girls.
Cousin is angry.
Who says?
God says.
Then I'm going to worship Satan.
Freaking awesome, let me tell you.
I am not a science experiment.
Correct, in science you don't make mistakes. What? Oh, going to hell for that one. Last night my 4-year-old son looked at me and said,
If you could...
he said, in a world full of Will Smiths, be a Zelensky. And then did the Wakanda salute. Sadly, we had to put him down. Damn, I was not expecting that curveball. I asked my son to say a sentence with the word condescending. He said,
a condescending down the escalator at Trump Tower.
He's 12. Smart kid.
Sir, you are a cat!
I'm sure he did.
My friend's 6-year-old brother made this bracelet. He accidentally put the beads on backward, but that's okay. It's still super cute.
Snart. If only I was brave enough to tackle such controversial topics. My parents, please don't start anything on Thanksgiving. Me, this is a literal child's YouTube channel. Okay, look, I mean, the fact that it's clearly them making it themselves, I'm gonna give them a pass.
The main problem with Donald Trump, I'm communist. Transphobia is stupid. What should we tolerate?
Me to my 7-year-old. Do you have any idea where the cinnamon is? I can't find it in our pantry. Her rushing over and rubbing my back. And now to verbalize this child as accurately as the mother would want me to.
Oh, I hear you can't find the cinnamon. I'm guessing you're feeling frustrated about that. We can do this. Let's see. Usually when you can't find something, you realize you've been holding it in your hands the whole time. Should we start by checking in on your hands?
Not gonna lie, she says when empathy means accuracy, that just sounds condescending. Rewatched the Lord of the Rings trilogy recently, and my kid casually says,
this is the only scene where 2 women speak to each other in the whole trilogy.
The exchange? A little girl says to Eowyn,
where's Mama?
Eowyn shushes her. Shh. End scene. Ouch. It also never occurred to me that... That's what?
That's what?
Also, I'm no Lord of the Rings connoisseur, but wasn't there a female character who was the only one to single-handedly kill this, like, really big bad dude? Actual exchange in my triage room at work yesterday. Small child, quietly, to mom.
Is it a boy or a girl?
Me, having somehow never had this before. Neither. Small child, wide-eyed, excited.
A they!
Guilty as charged. The kid and his mum went on to excitedly explain how his friend at school's older sibling is also a they. I hope it's real. Just
because of the wholesomeness, but it's also been posted on Twitter, so, you know, it's like, A few weeks ago, one of my students started singing, "Every kiss begins with," then a boy yelled, "Consent!" and I haven't stopped thinking about it since. Nice of you to admit that there's literally nothing else interesting going on in your life other than the conversation between kids. 9-year-old begins to have a meltdown waiting in line for ice cream. Woman in front of us turns around. Looks like someone doesn't deserve ice cream. My younger 6-year-old daughter interjects.
Excuse me! He's autistic and having a hard time. You should be kind.
Woman.
What the hell is that voice?
Me. Blank. Avoid. Nothing. An open canvas to interpretation and spontaneity that shall never come to be. Millennials as a parent. I'm heterosexual.
Oh God, help me, Jesus!
My kid is 4, so it's up in the air, but so far Jake and Sophia are the prettiest in his class, and he wants to grow up to be in a poly relationship with both. His words, he speaks at a 6 to 10-year-old level. At 4. Okay. Can we stop grandstanding our children for doing things that is literally just being like a child? I advocated to marry so many people when I was like 5, I'm pretty sure I ran out of one wedding. Our 5-year-old son Jasper has been upset since Joe Rogan forced Neil Young off of Spotify, and this morning we found this on his door. Spotify is literally killing people. They must bring back Neil Young and make Joe Rogan apologize. Yo, this has got to be fake. Like, this has got to be a parody of some sort. I refuse to believe I share this planet with someone who would genuinely do this. I went berry picking today with a bunch of kids. My nephew, 3, and a couple of his friends. One little girl, age 5, gives me a squinty look. I know you are a boy, she says, lifting her voice like it's a question. Do you? I ask. Yes, but I think you're a they-them kind of boy. Okay, again, I think this is another circumstance where, like, that I could believe that. I would say that as a kid. Come on, non-binary people, these aren't imaginative enough. You need to be more unrealistic, more ridiculous. So the school counselor just called me to ask if I was aware that my daughter planned and led a student protest today where 100+ students walked out of their third period to hold a BLM rally on the yard because they feel teachers treat the black students different and unfairly. She's 12. I like to imagine that their way to persuade these students to do so was, hey, we can all leave class together, they can't catch us all. Walking into my child's room, this is what she is reading. Due to the current state of this nation, she recommends this book. 10 out of 10. Yeah, I'm sure your child can definitely read that as long as every word isn't longer than 3 letters. Last night, my son wanted to discuss string theory, exotic matter, wormholes, and Stephen Hawking. He's 8. It's important you all know this. He's young, okay? He's not an adult saying these things. He's a child. I always knew there'd be a time when my own kids surpass me in scientific knowledge, but didn't realize it would start happening from the age of 4. All because of YouTube. Oh yeah, scratch roasting this person. Yeah, no, do that, parents. Everyone put your kids on YouTube. Just make them sit there. There's a really educational channel I recommend. It's called EmKay. A great channel. It teaches and exposes children to the existence of developing insanity the longer a video goes on. Weird noises, which can be traumatizing. And yeah, just those things. It's just those two. Maybe if she had gone vegan, her mother would still be with her. God damn, wow, that's deep. Mothers are taken away from their calves. Go vegan. No, those poor mothers. However are they going to be able to walk? Mom and Dad, please ban gas stoves. Dear Mom and Dad, is easy cooking more important than my lungs? Not eating until you go electric. I can believe the writing here to be a child's, but I'm gonna guarantee that the parents told them to write this. Gotta grab that social media clout to feel better about yourselves, because you're definitely not getting it from each other. Kids are just too cognizant of global issues for us normal humans. Me too, 8-year-old. Who do you want to win, the Bengals or the Rams? 8-year-old. What difference does it make? It's not like the winner is gonna solve climate change. Super Bowl weekend in the Schreiber-Sullivan household got heavy really quick. My child is expressing symptoms of existentialism and possible depression. Clearly, I need to make a tweet about this as some funny children joke instead of taking them into therapy. We got our 6-year-old son a new Switch for Christmas. Went to the park today. He played with another boy who also had their Switch with them. He came over to me and I noticed one of his controllers was a different color. He explained to me that his new friend Tariq had 2 brown controllers and he had 2 white controllers. Oh god, no. They each agreed that their Switches didn't represent the world of equality that they wanted to live in, so they swapped one controller with the other so that they each have 1 brown and 1 white one now. Was so proud of him. Gave him a big hug and looked across the park.
Saw Tariq's mum giving him a big hug too, and we both started crying. Parenting is its own reward. Sadly, we had to put him down. I wish you would say that again. This morning, my baby said,
Why? Okay, what's with the babies and filling up cars?
Ma, let me pump you up your gas. You'll never need a man as long as you got me. I'm your man. I'm all you need.
I love you and I promise to be better than what was taught to me. Hear me when I say you won't need a man for nothing. Oh no. Oh, this child. Ma'am, he is your son, not your boyfriend. Do not project your values in a partner onto him. This is how you get that newlywed husband in The White Lotus Season 1. I told my 5th grader that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wanted to take $7 out of every $10 she makes. And my 5th grader told me that's not how tax brackets work, and that I'd never make enough money to have to understand them anyway, and also that she wants to live with her mom. This is honestly probably the most realistic example of a child talking to their parent I've read so far. My husband reading with 6-year-old and explaining Miss, Mrs, and Miss. Isn't it wild that we created all these different words to tell the world whether or not a woman is married, but not for a man? Hey, at least you get options. I just get thrown into the same box as all the other men that have gotten married. Me in class. Oh, this is a child this time. Teacher, hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving. Me, insulted by them wishing us well.
Actually, I don't find it fun to celebrate genocide and colonization, so I spent this Thanksgiving blogging and protesting. But thanks, how was yours?
Wow, imagine being so proud of typing on the internet. Oh, but it wouldn't be one of those posts without a little bit of a begins to clap. Ah, wonderful. 8-year-old guest at work.
Are you a they, them?
Me. Yes, I am. What about you? 8-year-old.
I don't know. I'm 8, and I'm a Libra.
Me. Fair enough. Yeah, look, fair enough. Under a post about Stranger Things using the word Eskimo.
I was watching with my boys when we heard it.
My 10-year-old quickly said,
Mom, did you hear that? That's not right. We should call them Inuit. We're Pacific Islander white, so for my little guy to know this made me very glad.
And now if you'll just look up at the board, everyone, you'll see we've got the chart here laid out for us. Did this actually happen? Now, I've got 2 options here we found in our research. No, as well as no, but in yellow.
Bittersweet. This year, my son stopped believing in Santa. He said,
Mom, you're a triple threat. Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, and Santa.
While I was cracking up at that, he added,
quadruple threat, because you're yourself, too.
This kid. Man, Mom's really starving for some love from their child, isn't she? Merry Christmas from our house, she says, looking over at her child's room, his door's shut because he's playing video games for the last few hours and always tells her to leave. Yep, he definitely said all those things.
No idea who this little girl is, but she wins today.
Hashtag Women's March dumb c. Don't fashion me into a maiden that needs saving from a dragon. I am the dragon, and I will eat you whole. My 6-year-old feminist giving her own commentary. Ugh, here we go.
Why are these mostly all men? Why are there no girls in this? Are girls not allowed to do this? Or maybe they might be not girls and not boys? We can't really tell by just looking at someone, but this is all just too boring now.
I love how it can't just be a case of just boys more preferencing to join this sort of career than women. No, it's got to be because they're all sexist, all of them, look at them all. Also love the attempt to act high and mighty by saying, we can't really tell by just looking at someone, and they literally were doing that at the start. I told my granddaughter that Disney turned Buzz Lightyear gay, and she threw her hands up in the air, rolled her eyes, and asked,
what is wrong with these people? They are ruining everything.
From the mouth of an 8-year-old who knows right from wrong. Because there was no trait more iconic about the Toy Story characters than who they were boning. Character arcs and nostalgia? No! Just make sure their pee-pee goes where I want it to. A child told me she was afraid. I asked her, of what? She said, the world. The world's on fire. Kids who look like me are dying in schools. They've separated us by class, color, gender, and sexual orientation. They've ignored my parents' trauma. Yeah, so have your parents. And now my parents' trauma is becoming a part of my story. Yeah, if only your parents were adults and therefore responsible for themselves. My loved ones are always busy surviving, and everyone I know has been gaslit to believe this is the best they can get. Remember, a child is saying this. They live in fear while they work a 40-hour week or more, spend all their money on bills and debt, watch everyone you love do the same, and then they die. I'm afraid, she says. I respond, oh, your name's afraid. Got it. Sorry, I was so confused. My 11-year-old son just said this at dinner.
Taxes are the subscription to your country, and childhood is the free trial.
I mean, he ain't wrong though. A random unattended 7-year-old at the park told me and my son that gay people are the devil and are going to hell. My son scoffed, but the boy said it was true because God said so. I told him parents made up God to make their kids do what they want. His eyes got so big. My 4-year-old, him, came to me this morning with tears streaming down his face. He looked up and said,
Mummy, I hate talkies. They remind me of bad white men. Come on!
I explained to him that turkeys are just as oppressed as the Native Americans and we must have empathy. He cried harder. Look, I get if you're vegan, you have that sort of mindset, but wow. Wow.
I taught my daughter the truth about flat Earth the other day, and when we were in the toy shop, she points at a globe. The first thing she said was, "What is this nonsense? Why does the toy shop preach lies?" Right. 10-year-old, you're the best. Me, no, you're the best. Subjective. Isn't anyone's bestness subjective? Not yours. That's facts. Right. I cry less than a Democrat. This is too cute. Yeah. What's your baby registered as voting-wise, by the way? I'm quite curious. Child. Dad, why was every movie in the 2020s a multiverse movie? Me. Well, the 2020s was this weird time where it felt like we were all living in our own different worlds. All while our institutions crumble. Wait, I thought the child was supposed to say the smarter thing. What? I could also own the plane. Tweet by writer Rebecca Papin on Twitter. Pilot to my 5-year-old daughter a few days ago. Do you know you could grow up to be a flight attendant? I could also own the plane. That is true. Like own that one in particular though? Or like own the airline? How do you mean? Explain, 5-year-old. How much you want to bet that the kids were screaming and this was posted to make the parent feel better about themselves? I think my boys understand consent quite well. I was behind my two boys, 10 and 8, while they were in the kitchen. The 8-year-old was holding the kitten, and the kitten was trying to run off. My 10-year-old saw this and said, "No, brother. The kitten did not give you consent to hold it. Let it go now. You must have consent to hold the kitten, or you're going to hurt it. Next time you ask her first, and if she says yes, she won't run away from you, and you can pet her." My 8-year-old let the kitten go and said he understood. I was so proud of them both. Then the 10-year-old said, "You must have my consent to touch my tablet, too," and ran off, LOL. I love them so much. I'm sure you do. 9-year-old, who's going to be there? Just us or me, us, and, you know, other families like ours. So families that are 2/3 autistic and 100% queer? That's not what I meant, but that would be an awesome party. I know, right? Okay, whatever. Just whatever. Almost got us in the first part, I'm not gonna lie. My 4-year-old just said, "Daddy, why do people make up things that their children have said for social media? Isn't it just inherently dishonest and indicative of an inability to construct a compelling narrative themselves?" I mean, I feel like they definitely can construct a compelling narrative themselves. All you gotta do is own it. Just own it. I told my cat I didn't want to go to school, and she said, "Wait, what? Every morning you have 2 choices. Continue to sleep with your dreams or wake up and chase them." Your cat's a genius, bro. Why is your cat on Wokekids, though? Told my 3-year-old we needed to pick up dinner for her dad, and she said, "Daddy's a grown man. He can cook his own food. My work here is done." Yeah, I'm sure he'll be very appreciative of this made-up story. You could just say you forgot to pick it up on the way home. That's fine. My kid says his Instagram reels are full of "what type of abuse have you been put through" ads. Asked him what he found out. Says they're just trying to make more victims to sell pills to. And it was at that point I knew we won. F you, Jesse. That one kind of got me. I'm really tired of people that shit on prescription medication as a whole. Sure, there are plenty of times where you may not need it, but there's also plenty of people out there that absolutely do need it, and it makes their lives livable or better. So stop this stupid bullshit. They're just trying to make more victims to sell pills to. Jesse, go f*** yourself. My 5-year-old has paused his cartoons. Walk to me and say, "Dad, they want to confuse me. Boys don't wear dresses. Can you please change of episode?" Okay. And screw you, Fernando. Jesus Christ. It's cartoons. Your 5-year-old probably probably isn't even forming memories yet. You gonna sit there and tell me that Bugs Bunny dressing up in drag or something like that is confusing the 5-year-old? I think not. You probably watched that and grew up just fine, aside from being a little dim, but that's okay. My 10-year-old, as he gazes out of the car window, why don't we just power the world with wind, sun, and water? I didn't have a good answer for him. Car window. Oh, the irony. I know. It was an electric car powered using renewables, but I get your point. Okay, all right, I'm sure it was. Everybody's got a solar array strong enough on their roof to power their car via that. Totally. Oh, man. I had to share an encounter with my 7-year-old goddaughter concerning the new Ariel. For reference, my goddaughter is the spitting image of the young version of Elsa. Bright blue eyes and hair literally whiter than snow. Okay. She wanted to know why people are upset about the new Little Mermaid. She had heard adults in her family discuss how fair or unfair it was that they changed the color of the mermaid. She had the most pensive look on her face when she asked me the question, what is the big deal? And she did not disappoint me with her thought process. It's only fair. Now people with the new Ariel skin do not have to close their eyes and pretend and miss things. Now my friends can watch the new one with me and they can see what I always get to see. Yes, I was overwhelmed with pride and joy. How old's this kid? 7-year-old. Yeah, very eloquent for a 7-year-old, I must say. 1. Most portedly, they get to see them with their eyes open. When you read me the stories, I close my eyes and Red Riding Hood looks like my skin. She then pinched her little arm and pointed. 2. They are all wrong because mermaids are blue and green, so you cannot just... Wait, what? Are they? Are all mermaids just blue and green? I didn't know that. Most devilish grin came over this angel's face and she whispered, it is pretend that they have my skin, and you can't pretend wrong. She stepped back and sat beside me, and there was silence. Then she looked me deep into my eyes. But now I think it's time for Harry Potter mermaids, okay? Okay. I don't like the Harry Potter mermaids, though. They're freaking weird. So proud of my youngest. She was in line for lunch at school today. It was French toast sticks and sausage. The boy in front of her said no to the sausage, and she called him a communist. She's in kindergarten. Proud parent. Yeah, this one feels fake. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. No thank you. Commie! My 6-year-old working on a bead design. Do you want to help me? My 8-year-old. Yes. Do you want me to follow your directions or give you ideas? My proposition. All academic collaborations would be improved by having this exact conversation. Yeah. Then everyone clapped. My daughter is 3 years old. She knows exactly who she is. Today, a couple at the river called my daughter they, and she said, I'm not a they, I'm a girl. The couple proceeded to discourage their kids from playing with her. I hope in the future, instead of clutching your pearls, y'all encourage a warrior queen. No one gives a fuck. Just no one. No one cares. My 8-year-old daughter heard this playing on my phone, came and looked, caught a glimpse of the flag, and is now scared to go to bed. She's afraid the rainbow people are going to kidnap me in the night. Amanda, tell your beautiful daughter that the patriots of America will protect her from the rainbow people, no matter the cost. Oh man, nice check marks. Really cool check marks. I hope it's worth the money to look this goddamn stupid. My 9-year-old's first book review, I guess. Charlotte's Web. Depressing. Don't read. I think all reviews should be that. That's it. Not those exact words, but this short and to the point. My 2nd grader has 5 video meetings per day. 5. At one point he goes, I think this one could have been an email. So I guess he's ready for the corporate world. Yeah, literally could not have said that less. But cool, cute. Everyone dies one day. Everyone... No. Not books, not words. Words don't die. Screw off, Rebecca. All right? You're the reason this subreddit exists. While watching Extraction 2 last night, my son made the observation that there are never any atheist terrorists in movies or the news. All the angry people that want to blow people up are religious. If there was no religion, there would be a lot less murder. Right you are, son. Right you are. So that movie's... How old is the kid? Because that movie's rated R. Right? You know what? Whatever. My 4-year-old daughter is asking questions about colonial history. How do I respond in an age-appropriate way? I don't know. They're f***ing 4. Me to the boys earlier. What a lovely day. Beautiful sunshine. Romeo, I know it's sunny because they're not spraying today. He's 7, and he gets it. First of all, you named your kid Romeo? Romeo. Not the point. The point is, you're a psycho. I could help him with Russia. Devante, I'm pretty sure we shouldn't have a president that behaves like a toddler that doesn't want to go to bed. Oh, and if he doesn't know anything about Russia, I could help him out. He'll have to show me where what is? When was this posted? Oh, 2016, gotcha. My 4-year-old froze on stage at her first ballet recital. I failed, she told me after the show. I looked at her heartbroken with tears in my eyes. No, I failed you. But today you've given me more than I ever could have asked for. You gave me a sad kid story to post on LinkedIn. Link what? She asked. LinkedIn, I replied. A place where depressing personal anecdotes involving imaginary children are posted and mined for engagements in order to boost one's own professional identity. She looked at me confused. But Dad, I cut her off. Shh. Thank you, sweetheart. My 9-year-old said this is how the Barbie movie should have ended. Nah. H.P. Lovecraft was the wokest kid of them all. Foregoing his Christian upbringing, he recalled at 5 years old being told Santa Claus did not exist and retorted by asking why God is not equally a myth. You know, Lovecraft seems like the type of dude to have been a little weird at 5. I mean, he was a really weird, frickin' creepy guy, right? My youngest son Elijah, who is 6, saw a trailer for the new Super Mario Bros. Movie earlier. Once it was over, he turned to me and said, Father, why does Hollywood insist on indoctrinating our youth with subliminal LGBTQ+ messaging? I have no interest in this feature film. Oh man, who is 6? All right, if your 6-year-old talks like that, you're gonna have to sacrifice him. I'm just saying now, that's what has to be done. Not even H.P. Lovecraft probably talked like that at 5 years old, 6 years old, whatever. The 7-year-old sitting next to me on the plane just said that Fruit Loops are actually all the same flavor, and the Kennedys kept it a secret. So excuse me while I enjoy the best flight of my life. The Kennedys did what? This kid definitely did this, and it was definitely not their parents forcing them to turn it off or turning it off themselves. This is how far my 11 son made it through the newest Mr. Beast. He notices Chris looks different and turned it off on his own. He then asked why Mr. Beast is okay with this. I've given up things I loved, so I know how upsetting it is for him. He said you were his favorite too. Okay, I'm gonna make it real clear here. I'm absolutely with Jimmy. It makes me so upset and sad and infuriated that we're still doing this shit. I know this was definitely posted a while ago. Yeah. It was posted a while back for sure, but people really gotta chill the hell out. And then everyone on the bus clapped. My son once asked a Muslim mother on the bus why she covered her beautiful face with an ugly black scarf, and I could have died on the spot. But her smile was so genuine, it brought me back. She gave him a basic sentence about it being her religion, and he replied with, "Oh, I get that. Your face is still beautiful, even though I can't see it." Her son said, "It really is," and we were both proud mothers on the bus that day. Right, I'm sure. I got mad at my dog for being lazy, and he said, "If a candle does not allow itself moments of rest, it is doomed to shed the qualities that give it purpose." A candle? What does that mean? One of the best things about kids is they teach us how to live in the present. We're stuck in traffic on a long car ride the other day, and our 4-year-old says, "Dad, I like it when we go slow because I don't have to skip over anything I see." My whole perspective instantly shifted. Yeah, well, your little 4-year-old's gonna have to commute to work one day, and you know what? You're gonna try and make them feel better by bringing up this moment, and then they're gonna tell you to screw yourself, Dad. Kids, 3 and 5-year-old, saw the mollusk tee I got at Red Rocks. OMG, Mommy, your shirt is scary. Yeah, what is that? It's scary. Guys, it's the mollusk. The mollusk? What's that? Mommy, what's the mollusk? What does it do? Well, it emulates the ocean sound. It lingers with its wandering eye. What? It looks scary. It's gonna give us nightmares. Okay, I'm gonna play y'all the song. No, scary, plays the mollusk. Wow, we love this song. It's so nice. So are you still scared? Well, it looks scary, but it sounds nice. I love the Molly. I feel like this one feels a little bit more like the truth. It does. Because I don't know if you've seen the album art for that, but yeah, it is freaky, okay? A 5-year-old did all that. Sure. Building an organization culture is similar to raising a child. It's about our actions, not just our words or posters on the wall. This picture from last Saturday evening at work speaks volumes about the profound impact our actions have on those we lead and nurture, whether it's our teams or the little ones who look up to us. Check this out. My 5-year-old niece has been a keen observer of my daily routines. Rising early at 5 a.m. Oh, you're doing a humble brag thing, okay. Committing to a daily workout regimen and eating right. Devoting long hours, many times up to 16 hours a day. Well, you are the CEO, I think, of all people You're the one who should be working like that. Wasn't surprised when she showed me the skincare products she had created. She even developed a unique brand name with a pricing strategy. In her world, a woman founder, a woman CEO, and woman at the forefront is the norm, not an exception. Okay, you didn't have to make up the kid thing, though, to make a point. Me, riding alone in silence. 10-year-old bursting into the room like the Kool-Aid Man. How are you doing, you joyous wordsmith? What? I told my daughter she couldn't go see the Barbie movie because it's PG-13 and she's 9. She was like, the PG stands for parental guidance. You're my parent, so guide me to the movies. I don't know, I feel like a 9-year-old could theoretically absolutely say this. So, in the spirit of that, just do it! You're the parent, so do what they said and guide their asses to the movie theater. I don't know, I only watched the movie once. I don't know how, I just don't know. My son didn't approve of the class Valentine's cards I picked, so he fixed them. I think you're very cool. I think you're a real human. You're the kid in my class. Right. Did the whole staff start clapping too? I would just like to take a moment and brag about my wonderful 8-year-old. Yesterday, he thanked me a million times for taking him out, and he kept saying how spoiled he was and that he wishes he could get me something for Valentine's Day because it's not fair that I don't have someone to get me anything. I explained to him, of course, that I didn't need anything bought for me to feel loved and appreciated, and that he shows me all the time. Today we went grocery shopping, and I spent a small fortune, of course, because the prices, and Liam looks at me and says, Mom, thank you for the groceries. I realize I don't thank you enough for these things, and I know you work hard to make sure I have everything I need and also need food. Wait, what? When I tell you the cashier and I looked at each other and both started crying, we did. All right, okay. Her 2-year-old loves court hearings and body cam footage. On today's episode of My Toddler is a Genius, oh boy, Ariel identified China, Australia, Greenland, Brazil, South America, and America. South America and America. Will we just not call it North America like it's called? Hang a world map in your common areas. It will not disappoint. I swear to you, as much as she watches Hoagie, Pinkfong, and Ms. Rachel, she's heavily paying attention to world news. She's always been interested in body cam footage and okay, no, I don't... What? Court hearings? She is in that shit. The issues with Russia and Ukraine and China, etc., she's all up in that. She won't be 3 till October. Okay. Right, I forgot. I forgot you said toddler. You're full of shit. Sure she did. My 8-year-old came across my bound thesis in the basement, read it, and spontaneously wrote me this note. I will now be listing her as a suggested reviewer for all my manuscript submissions. Dear Adam, Daddy, I was very amazed by your work. It surprised me that it took 4 whole years to write that thesis. I'm sure it took a lot. Man, this is weird. Okay, in the spring of 2020, I had my 7th graders write a 6-word memoir. I'll never forget my favorite one. Brave birds still fly through fog. We were all silent after she read it. Then I whispered with genuine awe, oh wow, you're the teacher now. In Waitrose this morning, the little one saw a man looking very sad on the phone in the meat aisle. It's because they're in Waitrose. After his call ended, she asked him if he was okay. I've not been okay since 2016, sweetheart. 23rd of June, to be exact, he replied, then added a bit of a chuckle. Not that you'll remember that date, you're too young. I could not believe my ears when at the age of 7, my wonderful daughter replied, I might not remember that date personally, but what I do know is that that's the date our country became isolated from our European friends. I try not to get upset about it, though, as I know we'll be back one day, and on that day, I want you to be a happy man, a European man. The man was brought to tears and gave her a hug, and I must say I shed a tear of pride. And then everyone in the store gave us $1 billion. Sorry, pounds. This conversation definitely happened. Today, my 7-year-old daughter asked me a question that stopped me in my tracks. Mom, why do people who protest my sister using the girls' bathroom not care about trans boys using the boys' bathroom? Why are they only mad about trans girls? I told her that I believe it's because they have a profound hatred and desire to control women. She said, the patriarchy. So if my 7-year-old can identify the flaw in anti-trans rhetoric and connect the root, surely there's hope. The Florida GOP gubernator? I don't know. What a weird word. What does it mean? Nominee even released a campaign ad in July that featured his wife declaring, people say Ron is all Trump, but he's so much more. As we saw DeSantis and his daughter playing with building blocks, and DeSantis encouraged her to build the wall. Yeah, how quickly did he drop out? Just before falling asleep, my 7-year-old said, if I only had one wish, I'd want to help poor people. I will hold tightly onto that when the judgmental comments make me start to doubt myself. I'm killing it in ways that matter the most to me. From my 9-year-old daughter's notebook, thank you for everything, Mr. Musk. Elon Musk is the hero of our time. Well, I hate to tell you that your 9-year-old daughter is wrong, and you are as well. It's a serious problem, but there's no reason somebody should be telling a 4-year-old about it. My 4-year-old just FaceTimed to ask what I'm doing to help the people in Buffalo, and why did the bad man do this? Absolutely gutting. This cannot be normal. It's time to ban assault weapons. Why are you using a fake conversation with a 4-year-old to make a... Why? Y'all, my son woke me up out of sleep crying and said, Mommy, I know you're tired of working trying to make it better for me and my sister. I'll go to work for you today. This made me cry. He's only 1. He's 1? All right. My parents, please don't start anything on Thanksgiving. Me. The main problem with Donald Trump, I'm a communist. Transphobia is stupid. What should we tolerate? This morning, we're walking out to the car, and along the way are avoiding stepping on broken glass, throw up, and spilt food. And Maddox turns to me and says, why are adults so mean to the earth? They use it like a big trash can. I'm sorry, Maddox? A boy told my daughter he liked her. He asked if she likes him back. She said, I can't answer that right now because you've only been nice to me for 2 days. I need to see how you treat me and others for the next 2 months. Then I'll know if you're someone I could like. Preach it! My friend's toddler babbled, don't forget to subscribe as he was put to bed. Kid watches so much YouTube, he thought it means goodbye. Oh man, I miss Twitter. Back when stupid shit like this was posted.